I miss being a family. Maybe it's worth just staying miserable if you get your family, because without them, I don't know who I am anymore. I contacted my estranged husband, and I had no one to talk to and tell. Sometimes I'm just really lonely.
But have you guys ever noticed how a lot of these women, they come to their epiphanies about all of the stupid decisions that they make, and these epiphanies come when either it's too late to get attention from men or when they get divorced, right? It's always learning too late. Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another reaction video, and on today's episode we are going to be listening to a woman who left her husband and instantly regrets it. As always, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you find these videos to be absolutely hilarious, and let's jump in and take a listen.
I saw a TikTok post about a guy with a big red beard, and his TikTok was so profound, and it was just about how people can come on here that in a small town or in the, places in the past, nobody would have validated them. They would have been ostracized for being weird or different. And now they can get validation, and it kind of opens up the world differently. And it was so amazing.
Am I the only one who finds it to be absolutely disturbing that you have literally like 40 and 50-year-old women jumping to TikTok, ranting on it for validation from strangers, and they think that they find their next profound life lesson in some random TikTok that they stumble across? It's absolutely insane to me how this is just totally normal in society now, where you have these women doing this all day. It's crazy.
Anyway, I know why I drank, and I'm not proud of it. I was pleasing someone, and I wanted them to like me, and that's what I do. I have no... Inside, my self-esteem is really low, I think. And so when I meet someone new, I want them to like me. So I compromise myself and do things I'm comfortable with, because I know, I know what I'm like when I've had a martini. I'm like me times 5. Not that that's a good thing. My God, some, people would be like, oh God, she's hard enough to take as it is. But I did it because of those past habits and beliefs about myself. So I have some work to do.
I mean, at least this woman understands it. But have you guys ever noticed how a lot of these women, they come to their epiphanies about all of the stupid decisions that they make, and these epiphanies come when either it's too late to get attention from men or when they get divorced, right? It's always learning too late. The partying throughout the 20s, okay, the drinking, the hooking up with bad boys, the going to parties, whatever else, all of it becomes a regret as soon as we don't get as much attention from men. Okay, so yes, she understands it, and she thinks that it's a bad thing now, apparently, but it's always a little bit too late, isn't it?
I think somebody should just, it's just so complicated. And then I came home, and I've been really run down and sick, and I've got a virus, and I contacted my estranged husband, and I had no one to talk to and tell, and he made me feel a lot better. And sometimes I'm just really lonely.
Okay, so we're divorced now. We probably left our husband, statistically speaking, and now we regret it, and here come the tears. Okay, so it sounds to me like she went out there, she can't find another man, she's relapsing on the drinking, and dudes don't want her. She's giving herself to random men. She's upset about it because she's not getting the commitment that she wants, and now she decides to call up her ex-husband, and she's crying because she misses him. This is what happens, guys, when you have these women who think, well, I can just leave my relationship, I can leave my marriage, I can leave my, 12-year boyfriend or whatever the case may be, and I'm going to be fine because I can lock down another Prince Charming. And what a lot of these girls realize is that attention dries up. You're not always going to be able to secure a man, and then all of a sudden the regret comes and the crying comes and the feeling lonely, okay? Now, I don't know if this woman actually divorced her husband or not, but statistically speaking, guys, women are initiating the overwhelming majority of divorces. I think for college-educated women, it's something like 90% of the divorces. If you're a college-educated woman and you're in a marriage, chances are 90% of the time, if a divorce happens, it's going to be the woman initiating it. Okay, I think it's like 80% if the woman's not college educated. But, you have these situations where women regret divorcing their husbands and they think that they can go out there and lock down another guy, but it's not the same as when they were 20.
I'm just really lonely. Anyway, so I'm counting on being validated even just waking up and crying. No. No, I just think that it's a slippery slope with alcohol, and I'm not going to come on here like I did the other day and say, oh, it was just fine. I'm fine. No. And I knew the minute I started drinking, the same feelings were there. Like, I was pissed off when there wasn't enough wine. Like, I was like, what? We need to get more so that we don't get stuck without it. So all of that came back instantly. So basically, yes, it is day 1, day 8 now. But that's the whole point, is that a relapse is not just normal, nor is it going to work for me.
Okay, so this video is kind of funny here. So it sounds to me like she went out drinking with some Chad. Things happened. She couldn't lock him down. Now she's sad about it. She called her ex-husband, and she's in this situation now where she's crying for attention on social media. And she made that little, she made that joke there about getting validation because she's sad. And I don't think that was a joke. I think that's actually what she's trying to do, right? She jumps on social media. This is what a lot of these women do, okay? They jump on here, they start crying about their problems, and then they start hoping that somebody will give them sympathy in the comments. And the thing is that if you're a woman and you're this age, and you don't have a husband, or you don't have a long-term relationship, you don't have kids, you feel lonely, okay? That's 100% on you. If you get to this age and you're feeling lonely as a woman, like, I don't know, how many decades have you had? Like 3 decades to secure your inability to be lonely? You could have grandchildren by this point, probably, but we're sitting here talking about our drinking problems and going out and getting with random dudes and regretting our divorce with our husband. Let's continue on to the next clip here. I'm not sure if this is the same woman or not. It could be. I don't know, guys. Like, this app is crazy with the filters and the makeup. Let's continue to the next clip.
Well, I just worked a really long week, but I'm glad for the work and I'm not complaining. But you get tired. Anyway, this really lovely woman, I cut her hair and do her highlights, and I do her kids' hair and her husband. And they invited me to dinner tonight. It's Saturday night. And I was getting ready to go, and I bought the kids little gifts. And I just thought, I'm going to go and have dinner with these people and their children instead of being at home with my own. And I wonder what I'm doing. It's really not. I don't know what to do. I don't know why I feel like this.
Yeah, see, this is what happens, okay, when you get divorced, when you break apart your family. Now, I'm not sure of this woman's particular situation, okay, but it sounds to me like she divorced her husband and now she's just straight up regretting it. And guys, I don't have any sympathy for women who do this, because they willingly break apart their family and then they're sad about the fact that, their kids don't want to see them, or their family is in fact just straight up broken apart. I don't have any sympathy. And what makes me lose even more sympathy is people who take these things, these problems that they have, and then they choose to jump on TikTok of all things and cry about it for attention on social media. Guys, can you imagine, right, if this was your mother and she was sitting here posting videos like this? Like, how do you explain this to, to other people? I don't think when women make these videos and they're looking for this sympathy and they're looking for people to, you know, take their side, I don't think they actually it's all about them, right? It's not about the kids. It's not about the ex-husband, right? It's about them, and it's about validating the way they feel, and it's about getting strangers to give them validation on the internet.
I feel like this. I miss my family. I miss being a family. Maybe it's worth just staying miserable if you get your family. Because without them, I don't know who I am anymore. So, I'm not drinking. I'm not crying because I'm drinking. I'm crying because it's so hard. It's really hard. Anyway, I hope you're having a happy Saturday. I'm sure I'll be fine later. It just hit me. Like, all of everything I've ever known is gone. My family isn't here anymore. I mean, they're here, but we're not together.
Yeah, this is what happens when you get a divorce. The thing that always gets me about these videos as well is you'll have the women say, well, I should just stay in the marriage and I should just, you know, I should just be miserable. And my question to that is always, okay, why did you marry a man who made you miserable then? Right? It's always like, oh, we get a few years into the relationship or the marriage and then the woman's miserable, right? Because the man doesn't do X, Y, Z, or because he's this way, or because he's that way. Okay, why did you have kids with him then? Why did you choose to get married? You see, a lot of these women, they don't actually take marriage very seriously, right? They hear the vows, they hear the till death do us part, and they think, oh, pretty ring, right? And they actually ignore what marriage means, right? It's a union between two people, you know, forever, essentially. Okay, and what happens is they break this union and they're like, oh crap, where did my family go? You know, I regret everything. But marriages are not meant to be broken. So many people, they get married these days and they're like, well, I feel miserable, I feel this way, so I'm going to, you know, divorce XYZ. But that's not how it works, okay? It really isn't. Marriage is a duty, and it is not something that you sign up for lightly, right? I see so many of these situations where the woman will claim that the man's like awful, and he's this way and he's that way. Like, you know, she'll list like these character traits which are present from the beginning of a relationship. You know? Like, it's really not that hard to spot. Again, this is why back in the day, right, you would have dudes, the fathers would choose the you know, the husbands for their daughters and stuff like that, because choices like this are not hard to make, but women will choose, you know, everything but the good decision. And when they do choose the good decision, they get bored, they become miserable, and then they leave. And then they complain about it. Amazing.
And I'm going to go sit with some other family. I mean, it's nice that they invited me, but it's not easy. When you're in your 50s and you're dating men in their 50s, you have to understand that we have so much wounds. Like, we have so much going on. We've been through marriages and divorces, and we have children, and we've been hurt, and we have all kinds of baggage.
And this is exactly why men don't want to date you, right? I see this argument going on so much. People will try and shame men. Okay, I've seen this all over the internet. Like, why do men choose to date younger women? Why don't men want to date women in their, you know, 30s, 40s, and 50s? Why don't men date single mothers? Why don't men, you know, date divorced women? And the reason for this is because of what she just outlined right here. This is a huge reason, is because they have so much baggage. Okay, no dude wants to date someone who's unpleasant, who's carrying around all of this baggage, and who's going to essentially lay it at his feet. You know, it's really funny how men are tried to... What society does at the moment is it tries to shame men into dating women who are not dateable. I'll be honest, guys, if you go out here and you try and date seriously, if you try and date a woman who has had 37 boyfriends, okay, and you want to be lucky number 38, I make this point so often, if you want to be lucky number 38 and you think it's going to last forever, it won't. Because there's going to be a number 39, there's going to be a 40, etc., etc. And this is what happens when you date women who are this age. They've been through so many dudes that you're just another number, And a lot of these women, they'll just replace you when they get bored or they come across something they feel is better. And then even if they turn out to regret it, who the hell cares? Let's carry on.
So when women expect men to be perfect and there's never a blip, and you check all the boxes, and you suddenly get one thing that happens and you go, that's it, I'm out. Do you understand that you're missing out on a person that could be very important to you? You might never get to know somebody because you're so focused on being treated like a queen.
Yeah, see, they notice, but they just don't care. That's the thing, okay? Women, particularly women in their 20s, guys, they have so many options that a lot of them will just say, you know what, I'm just going to move to the next guy. And this is the problem, okay? You have, these women who have been with so many dudes that they figure that they can just replace any one of them. And so when something goes bad in the relationship, or when a man doesn't tick that one box that she really wants, or he doesn't tick enough boxes, then she'll just throw him out and try and replace him with the next one. And that works great and fine until you get higher in age, right? Until the attention starts to dry up, or until the dudes that you're trying to date don't take you seriously, which can also happen in your 20s very often too. Okay, and then all of a sudden you get to 50, and this woman makes a good point, right? But again, the good points always come when they're like divorced and when they're 50 years of age, and now we realize how bad things were, and now we realize, how we treated men and all that, but it's too late. It's absolutely too late. That's like being a millionaire, right? You lose all of your money, you become broke, and now you're like, oh wow, I should have taken care of my family. It's like, yeah, probably, but it's it's a bit too late now.
Queen. And I understand being treated like a queen is important. But when someone has family and children and responsibilities, they don't always have all that energy to put into you. You're not a princess. We are human beings. I don't want to hate men. I'm not tired of men. I want to be kind, and I want to give back to a man just the same as I expect him to give back to me. And I'm not a dummy. I'm not going to hang out with somebody who treats me like shit. You know when that's happening. You can tell.
Yeah, and the reason why this woman can tell is because she's done it so many times in the past. Okay, have you guys ever heard women who they'll say things like, I'm over that type of man, I know better, right? Or I've dealt with dudes like that, and I'm not really interested anymore. This is all code for I've been through a lot of bad boys, right? My body count, as it were, I hate that word, but, my body count is extremely high. I've been with a whole bunch of these guys, and now I want something serious, and I want a man who's going to come along and to treat me like the queen I am. And the problem is, okay, these princesses that these women want to be treated like, princesses don't do that, right? You want your Prince Charming to come along, but Prince Charming doesn't, rescue the very questionable night lady down at the tavern, to put it nicely for YouTube. That's not really what happens. It's like they want the princess treatment, but are they really princesses, okay? Is a princess 50 years of age, divorced? Is a princess a single mother? Is a princess 50 and still looking for her prince? No, right? And the reason why it's that way, okay, is because women have so much attention, particularly in their 20s, guys. Like, a woman can post an Instagram post of like her hand, and she can find a boyfriend off of that. And I'm not even kidding. Like, it sounds like a meme when I say that. Hell, you can have a completely blank profile on Instagram with a woman's name, and you will be able to find a boyfriend. And hell, you could probably find quite a good one as well, to be honest with you, because a lot of these women, they post such questionable photos of themselves that a woman who actually, has very little followers, or who doesn't post herself everywhere, is actually becoming such a rare commodity that you could probably find quite a good guy. But anyway, let's continue.
And if it gets to the point where I feel miserable, I'm out. I know who I am. And I know that I'm valuable, and I'm smart, and I'm funny. Yep. And I just don't want to have this inside hatred for all men, or have these preconceived ideas, oh, that's because he's a man, or he's a misogynist, or because his opinions might be, old-fashioned, or if he's a dick, you're gonna know it. I'm gonna know it. And there's like so much out there for us, and I want to keep that hope. I want to keep that feeling of excitement. I want that. And
yeah, see, this is why we're divorced, and this is why we're still looking for dudes when we're 50. Is because you're still chasing that excitement, right? You're still chasing that dude who's going to give you the butterflies, who's going to, you know, make you all tingly inside. Okay? But it's not like that, right? This is relationships. It's funny because these people talk about relationships all the time, but not once have I ever heard the word duty, right? Or not once have I actually heard it from a man's perspective of, hey, you know, maybe this is what a man is looking for. Because this woman just described herself. I don't know if you guys caught that in there, right? She says, I'm valuable, right? Okay. What do men value? Do men value dating women who are 50 or 40 or whatever it is? Do men value dating single mothers? Do men value dating divorced women? Right? There's never any discussion of what men might want out of the equation, right? Why? Because, oh, that's awful, right? That makes you someone who doesn't like women. If you're someone who considers what men might want, society is so ridiculous these days that society will tell you that you've got some sort of ism, right? Or you're a misogynist. Right? It's absolutely ridiculous. And this woman can sit here and she can say that she's this value and she's that value, but that doesn't make it true. I can sit here and I can say that, you know, I'm a 10 out of 10 and I'm a superstar and everything like that. I've got Drake level status, but at the end of the day, I don't. I can say that as much as I want. That doesn't make it true.
I'm going to give care packages, and I'm going to bring him coffee and make little snacks, and you know what? I'm going to get it back because I'm giving it. And if I don't, then that is a different story. I just want other women to know that we don't need to hate men. They have their problems too. They're going through life things as well. And yeah, some men are dicks. And that's why we moved on. Or it didn't work and we moved on. But I'm going to keep my heart and my mind open. I know who I am, and I'm very proud of it. And I won't take other women beating me down because I'm not doing what they want.
Okay, so this woman actually makes some good points in here. But the problem with these videos, as I always say, is that these realizations and this quote-unquote empathy with men, number one, it feels quite shallow. And number two is that this always happens when we run out of attention. Okay, we start to develop these thoughts of, oh, well, maybe, you know, I should empathize with men a bit, or maybe I should actually try to learn how to cook or make a guy a meal. Okay, thoughts like these start to come up when the attention dries up and when we're like running out of time, or when we've run out of time. You know, it's never actually when they should be capitalizing on trying to get a guy. It's always way past, like when we're 50, when we're divorced, when we've got a bunch of kids, and now we're trying to quote-unquote empathize with men. Like, no. Like, this was a good try, right? She gets some points here. She understands a couple of things, but it's not going to cut it. And also, all the women are going to completely bash on her for this video, by the way.
I'm not saying that any of you did that. There are some women that I have had to, like, you know, get rid of, like, that are constantly after me. And I'm putting myself out here. I'm very vulnerable. And I don't think it's a bad thing, but I also, you know, I appreciate advice, but I also can give advice.
Right, and that's always the funny thing, okay? So we're 50 years of age, we're divorced. I think, you know, we have kids. It's a bit muddled up for me here, but don't worry, guys. She's absolutely qualified to give you and to give other women dating advice. I don't think, guys, if a woman gets to 50 years of age and she is divorced, she has, you know, she's a single mother, she doesn't have a man, she is absolutely not qualified to give dating advice. But guys, we're going to be leaving it there. As always, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you leave your thoughts and your comments. And guys, I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Peace.